What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cinema Conscious. I'm your host, Cody, and today, since there are really, there haven't been any new movie releases coming out, so I can't really review anything yet. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite movie scenes of all time. Now, there are thousands upon thousands of famous movie scenes, some more so than others. Now, this list of 10, 11 if you count my honorable mention, is not the definitive answer to the best movie scenes ever. It's just my answer. So with that, let's go on ahead and get started, alright? So my honorable mention is the introduction of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Now, Christian Bale really broke through into the mainstream with this movie. And his introductory scene where he's taking a shower and he's going through his morning routine and his workout and his product that he uses. It's very famous for being like the introduction to a psychopath, and it's pretty good. If you haven't seen American Psycho, if you're not into like crime thrillers, I would strongly suggest not watching it. But for the most part, it's a pretty decent movie. And in the comments, let me know if you think he actually did it or if you think all of this was just a figment of his own imagination. So we can get that discussion started. All right, at number 10, I've got Silva's introduction. Actually, that might be the last intro in my list, but Silva's introduction from Skyfall. So Javier Bardem played the villain of Skyfall, and it took about an hour and 15 minutes to actually get introduced to him, but this introduction is like outstanding. He goes into the first thing you notice is that he takes his time. He doesn't move fast for anybody unless he needs to. And he is going through this monologue about an island and like what happens when the island got infested with rats, and how his grandmother took all of the rats on the island and put them in a barrel, and the last two got set free because all they wanted to do was eat rats at that point. They never had another problem. It's just outstanding. I use that word an awful lot in these videos, come to find out. I can definitely dig it. I think Anderson Silva not Anderson Silva, Jesus, it's an MMA fighter. I think Silva, I forget his first name, might actually be my favorite Bond villain out of the entire series. Much more so than Blofeld. I think I like Christoph Waltz more than Javier Bardem as an actor, but I really think that Javier Bardem embraced the villainy better than Christoph Waltz did in, say, Spectre or the upcoming No Time to Die. I haven't seen it, but I can just imagine. All right, at number 9 is the What's in the Box scene from Seven. I'm not going to spoil it because Seven's a movie that I think most everybody should see, but Brad Pitt gets delivered a package by the antagonist of the movie, and it's very harrowing. It's very holy hell, like what is going on? And then when you find out, it's just like whoa. So go see Seven. It's got Brad Pitt, Kevin Spacey, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow. Those are the four main characters. It's definitely a good movie. It definitely has a very, very weird ending, but a very famous ending. Most of you have probably already seen it, but if you haven't, go watch it. Coming in at number 8 is the Jimmy the Gent death stare to Maury scene from Goodfellas. Now, this Goodfellas is without a doubt one of my favorite movies of all time. I didn't put it in my top 10 favorite movies list because I already had a gangster movie at number 1 that was The Godfather, if you'll recall. This movie, though, I mean, it's like up there with The Godfather as far as greatness is concerned. I think The Godfather might be more famous, but I think Goodfellas did a bunch of things better. The music is one of the things that it does better. Like, there's another scene later on that uses the piano outro from Layla by what's his name, Eric Clapton, and it uses it greatly. But we're talking about the Jimmy the Gent death stare scene right now. So you're watching Robert De Niro's character smoke a cigarette at the end of a bar, and out of nowhere, Sunshine of Your Love by Cream starts playing, and you can tell, like, just the look of absolute sheer pissed offedness just lets you know what's about to happen to the character that he's watching walk through the bar. It's definitely one of those scenes that, like, almost makes the whole movie. Now, there's another scene on here that actually made the whole movie for me. It's what made me fall in love with gangster. Well, one of the things that made me fall in love with filmmaking, and it made me fall in love with Goodfellas. But we'll get to that later. Coming in at number 7 is the Tiny Dancer scene from Almost Famous. There's a lot of drama in the world of rock and roll, as I'm sure most of you know. You definitely, you spend years and years and months in closed confined quarters with the same people. You're gonna, there's gonna be some issues. And the breakout star of the fictional band Stillwater, who I still think and wish were a real band, goes to a party. The main character, William, in Wichita, I think. It's after one of their shows in the Midwest. And spends the night at the party, gets high, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward to the next morning, the band picks him up in their tour bus, and everybody's just sitting around, not talking, there's no camaraderie, morale is at an all-time low. And then out of nowhere, Tiny Dancer by Elton John comes on the radio, and you can see everybody start to kind of, I don't want to say fall in love with each other again, but like the brotherhood and the camaraderie and the morale starts boosting, and then it all culminates to like one like ultra belt out of the chorus by the entire band, by all the Band-Aids, and William and everybody on the bus just starts singing Tiny Dancer, and it's an awesome scene. It's definitely one of the best music scenes of all time. All right, number 6, we're going to go to the 80s. So we're going the historical. I didn't really know how to name it on my list here, but it's the historical figures presentation from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's when you get Billy the Kid and Freud. Yeah, I think it's Freud. Yeah, Sigmund Freud. Abraham Lincoln, Joan of Arc, Genghis Khan, like all the historical figures that they pick up throughout the movie, they get to give the presentation. And it's just really cool. You get everybody going through like, oh, Socrates really loves San Dimas and baseball, and Abraham Lincoln ends his with "Party on, dudes," and it's pretty good. It's one of those like, oh, they made it, and now Ted doesn't have to go to military school. So if you haven't seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, there's actually a 4K release of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure coming out in the coming months. I'm really looking forward to picking that up, and I will definitely be doing a review on that for you guys. Coming in at number 5 is the Battle of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I love Lord of the Rings. I think those 3 movies are probably the best as far as like critique and like attention to detail. And yeah, they omitted some things from the stories and all that jazz, but like those movies are the closest thing to perfection I think that has ever happened in a book to movie adaptation. And I'm really happy to be alive during the time that they're real. But the Battle of Helm's Deep takes place at the tail end of the second movie, and everybody thinks all hope is lost and nothing's going right and all that jazz. Like the orcs break through the defenses and everything looks like it's not going to work out for our heroes. But it does, because they're the heroes, and the one big takeaway from the Lord of the Rings trilogy is that good will always triumph over evil, and that's about that. Legolas skateboarding down a flight of stairs on an orc shield and then impaling an orc with said shield as he kicks it off is about the coolest thing ever. And as a teenager when it came out, I was 12 when Two Towers came out. As an almost teenager, it made me want to start skateboarding, and I didn't really follow that passion very long because it hurt. Go watch it though if you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings. I still plan on doing an in-depth trilogy video or videos. I'll probably have to break it up at some point in the future. So bear with me, and I really hope you guys like that when it does come out. Number 4 is so this next bit is my my paying homage to Quentin Tarantino. My next 3 are all Tarantino scenes. It's the massacre at the house. I think it's called the House of T from Kill Bill Volume 1. That's where the main character goes and fights the Crazy 88, which it does seem like there are actually 88 of them, but apparently there aren't. In her path of like revenge, or path of revenge, we'll call it that. She fights all these people to try and get to Orin Ishii, who is Lucy Liu's character, and it's an absolute cinematic, like, oh my god, it's amazing. It's like it goes from black and white to color to only blue to, I don't know, just the visuals and the choreography and the I don't want to say the gore because not everybody really likes gore, but just the way that the scene is shot is top notch, and it's Quentin Tarantino at his best. And speaking of Kill Bill, which is leading me to a director who Quentin Tarantino drew a lot of inspiration from, Akira Kurosawa. Sorry. There's a game, if you're a gamer, it just came out called Ghost of Tsushima. It's by Sucker Punch Games. It's PS4 exclusive. If you're into Kurosawa's movies, you should definitely go play that game because it is basically a love letter. That's about all I have to say about that. Just go play it. It's really good. There's a Kurosawa mode where you can play in black and white with a film grain filter on it, and it's Coming in at number 3 is the Jackrabbit Slim's world famous twist contest from Pulp Fiction. This is best parts: music, dancing, scenery, all that jazz. Jackrabbit Slim's in the Pulp Fiction world. It's not a real restaurant, but in Pulp Fiction, it is like a Johnny Rocket style restaurant where it's like, oh, this is a diner from the 50s, and they've got 50s cars that are turned into booths and all that jazz. And towards the end of the scene, the announcer lets everybody know that it's time for the world famous Jackrabbit Slim's twist contest, and Uma Thurman's character Mia Wallace wants to win the trophy. John Travolta has no choice but to help her win it because his boss is Mia Wallace's husband. Well, they start playing what's the name of the song? It's by Chuck Berry. Goes to Show You Never Can Tell. I don't know what the name of it is. Oh, You Never Can Tell, actually, I think is the name of it. That starts playing. John Travolta dances, and Uma Thurman dances, and it's got that iconic, whatever this is that John Travolta does that everybody seems to not do right when they try to have a Pulp Fiction style scene in movies after that, or TV shows after that. Everybody always does it like this, and they look stupid. But I digress. That's a really good scene. Best parts of music, scenery, choreography, all that jazz. It's a really down to earth date night style, real people probably do this stuff moment in an otherwise hectic movie. It's just great. If you haven't seen it, then you should go watch it. Number 2, numero dos, is the opening interrogation scene between Colonel Hans Landa of the SS and Pierre Lapadite, the French dairy farmer in Inglourious Bastards. Oh, wow. If you have not seen this, you need to go watch it. This is most directors could never pull off 20 minutes-ish of people just sitting across from a table talking to each other. But Quentin Tarantino does it in this movie, and he does it so great. You've got all the best blocks, the best camera positions. Like, you can tell that Hans Landa, just based on how the camera moves and shifts, it kind of follows the mood of the conversation and how it goes from being like, oh, I'm just here to do a checkup because this happened 8 months ago and they didn't say anything, but with new management comes a duplication of efforts and yada yada yada, which I'm sure we all can appreciate that reference because that happens in the real world too. And then it goes into from there. That's the very beginning of it. It goes into a 15-minute conversation of the dairy farmer and the colonel on either end of a table, and it's awesome. He's very in depth, very detailed. You can see the camera moving as, like I said earlier, as the mood shifts in the conversation, and it's so good. I kind of want to go watch it right now, actually. Anyway, at number 1, my absolute favorite movie scene of all time, and this is the scene that makes me want to make movies. This is the scene that makes me go, holy hell, he knew what he was doing. That cinematographer deserves all the praise in the world. I don't know who the cinematographer is for this movie, though, so I probably should find that out because I want to be his protege. That is the Copacabana Steadicam scene from Goodfellas. Now, this scene starts out outside the Copacabana, and then he Kissed Me is playing. I don't remember who sings that song, but it's a very famous song from the 50s and 60s. I think it's from the 50s, actually. Anyway, Steadicam's following Henry Hill and his girlfriend through the back entrance of the Copacabana, through the kitchen, all that jazz. They get out to the main room, or actually on their way to there, you see Henry like slipping 20s in everybody that works there's pockets, except for all the cooks, because then he'd run out of movies or run out of money. And then he gets out to the main area, and the maitre d' like snaps his fingers, and 2 people come up with a table and a little light to go on the table, and it's all seamless. It's all one single shot, and it's the music's great, the scene's great. It's kind of like the Jackrabbit Slim's twist contest from Pulp Fiction, but better in my opinion. Just this, oh my god, that's the scene that makes me want to make movies for a living, because I want somebody like me to be sitting in a chair 30 years from now, because that movie's 30 years old, and be like, oh man, the scene from whatever this movie would be that I would have made is outstanding, and man, that person's really good at their job. I really think that's without a doubt. That's my favorite scene. It's not the best scene of all time. I'm sure there will be comments about people's best scenes of all time, and there should be, because I want this to be a discussion forum more than anything. No hate though, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my top 10 favorite scenes of all time. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Let me know what your favorite scenes are in the comments, and everybody, go have a great day. I will see you guys next week. Bye.